Hi, today I want to read something to you and reflect some thoughts about the text. So it's by Kate Scott, 2018, and I will link the Instagram post that I found it at. Okay, it says, it's called Run the Dishwasher Twice. When I was at one of my lowest mental points in life, I couldn't get out of bed some days. I had no energy or motivation and was barely getting by. I had therapy once per week, and on this particular week, I didn't have much to bring to the session. He asked how my week was, and I really had nothing to say. "How are you struggling with it?" he asked. I gestured around me and said, "I don't know, man. Life." Not satisfied with my answer, he said, "No, what exactly are you worried about right now? What feels overwhelming? When you go home after this session, what issue will you be staring at?" I knew the answer, but it was so ridiculous that I didn't want to say it. I wanted to have something more substantial, something more profound, but I didn't. I told him, honestly, the dishes. It's stupid, I know, but the more I look at them, the more I can't do them. Because I'll have to scrub them before I put them in the dishwasher. Because the dishwasher sucks, and I just can't stand and scrub the dishes. I felt like an idiot even saying it. What kind of grown-ass woman is undone by a stack of dishes? There are people out there with actual problems, and I'm whining to my therapist about dishes? But my therapist nodded in understanding and then said, "Run the dishwasher twice." I began to tell him that you're not supposed to, but he stopped me. "Why the hell aren't you supposed to? If you don't want to scrub the dishes and your dishwasher sucks, run it twice, run it 3 times. Who cares? Rules do not exist, so stop giving yourself rules." It blew my mind in a way that I don't think I could probably express. That day, I went home and tossed my smelly dishes haphazardly into the dishwasher and ran it 3 times. I felt like I had conquered a dragon. The next day, I took a shower lying down. A few days later, I folded my laundry and put them wherever the fuck they fit. There were no longer arbitrary rules I had to follow, and it gave me the freedom to make accomplishments again. Now that I'm in a healthier place, I rinse off my dishes and put them in the dishwasher properly. I shower standing up. I sort my laundry. But at a time when living was a struggle instead of a blessing, I learned an incredibly important lesson. There are no rules. Run the dishwasher twice. By Kate B. Scott, 2018. So, when I was reading this, at first, the first thing that came to my mind is that the reason you're not supposed to wash the dishwasher twice is because you're wasting electricity and water. That was my first thought. Okay, that was my first concern. I was like, there's a reason why there's a rule. But then I thought about the fact that I'm a person who suffers from a mental illness. I am bipolar, and sometimes I have noticed, just because I didn't know I was bipolar, like I was told by the doctor, even though I knew it's like a part of my family history and it's very likely that I would get it, and I haven't been a normal person. I still rationalized away the things that I thought would be indicators, and so it took a long time for me to accept that. But tangent, all to say that in looking back, there were times where like I really dipped, and a story like this would reflect my situation. So I realized that there's a kind of need for us to think about environmentalism as this pursuit of purity, and it's not possible for some of us. Some of us fail to have the energy to get up and shower sometimes, and like, that's never been the kind of depression that I suffer from. I just don't shower sometimes because it's like the less interesting thing to do at the moment. That's not the kind of depression I suffer from. But for some of us, depression is, failing to be able to get out of bed, and you have to just like do the little that you can with whatever energy you can. So how do they fit into this environmental thing? Somebody who would need to run the dishwasher twice. How do they fit into our movement? Well, we have to give them the space to take care of their personal needs while also participating however they can. Not everybody can be a perfect environmentalist because they have needs that we can't foresee. And so, bearing neurodiversity in mind and people's different needs in mind, we have to be flexible and intersectional in our environmentalism and our outlook. I also feel like the story is a metaphor for the journey towards a more sustainable life, where you start where you can start, and you just like keep building, keep going until you're, able to get where you need to be. You have to sometimes make concessions because for me, for example, as I said, I am bipolar, and so I have known lows before. I've had one major depressive state that was very scary to me at the time, and I've done things ever since to avoid ever feeling that way. And I think that is part of the disease, where you go through the highs because you're trying so hard to avoid the lows, and there's no balance. So it's a good thing that I'm on medication because I'm on mood stabilizers that, keep the balance for me in my brain chemistry. But in order to avoid the lows, I do things like I indulge in overindulgent foods to satiate my palate and give me that little feel-good chemical. I smoke compulsively. I'm trying to stop. And if I were to give up smoking, which I really want to do, I would have to supplant that need for feel-good chemistry with something else. So I've found myself indulging more in food. And I get cravings for Jamaican food, like pork and chicken and those kind of things. Mostly pork. And so the thing I've decided is that I have to, if I'm going to continue to eat pork, but I want to be more environmental, is that I limit my meat consumption to pork and chicken. I do not consume beef or dairy, and that'll be at least a step in the right direction. And I'll still be able to maintain my mental health and my physical health. So these are the little means of laying down in the shower, of running the dishwasher twice. It's not within the rules of perfect environmentalism, but it's still getting you somewhere close to the mark. It's better than nothing, So I think in our environmentalism, we need to make this intersectional analysis of how we evaluate people's participation in the movement. We have to have an intersectional outlook to say, hey, these people, they're trying their best, and let's see how we can. It's like yoga, you do yoga and you have these advanced poses, but they also tell you that these are the beginner poses. So you can do this pose while the rest of us who are able to do this other pose. And so we have to have different poses available for different people, because different people are at different phases in their lives where they can do X kind of attitude versus that kind of attitude. they're not all in the same place, and we shouldn't expect them to all be in the same place, because diversity is to be celebrated, not misrepresented. And so yeah, that was my takeaway from this reading, and it felt really nice. I really enjoyed getting to hear a story like that, because it felt something identifiable there. And yeah, I think other people will resonate with it too. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and how you feel about it in the comments. Let's have a dialogue. I might probably look pretty crusty, but it's okay. Like, crusty is fine. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to appear on camera, makeup free or with a little bit of makeup. But right now, I read this thing on Instagram, and I was just like, hey, I want to share this story. I don't want to wait. So yeah, here we are. Anyway, I might add some more thoughts in the comments, so let's get a dialogue going. So I hope I'm not infringing on anybody's rights by sharing that. I am trying to give the proper credit. It is, once again, Kate Scott. Wrote it in 2018. Yeah.